Hello, welcome to the channel. My name's Pete, and in this episode we're back on the Suzuki Bandit. There she is behind me there. Last time we went for an MOT and failed it because of some, well, serious issues, isn't it? Minor but serious issues through no fault of my own because I didn't know how to do them. So one of them is that this bolt needs undoing to undo this little headset so that the bars move a bit freely, so that they drop actually when the bike's on a side. The other job is I've got to take this headlight out and replace it for one that actually works. These are cheap Chinese shit and they're not MOT worthy in the UK. So that's coming off and I've got one ordered. The front brakes bind and I'll show you that in a minute. So I've jacked the bike up so that the front wheel's off the ground. It's actually worse than when she inspected it, and I will show you. Look, there's no spin in that. Now I don't know which caliper is causing that issue because it's difficult to get in there and see. So I'm going to have to take both calipers off and have a look. I think it's more than likely this one, so I'll do this side first. But first of all I've got to undo this to get to that, to undo this a little bit, to release that locking nut down there. An eighth of a turn she advised me, the MOT woman, so an eighth of a turn to undo that and then retighten this up. I've got the bars off. I've got the bars off at this point, and I've loosened this. Now she told me how to do it. She said just knock it round with something, because I don't have a special tool and it's not all coming off. She said just get a flathead and knock it round carefully to undo it about an eighth of an inch. But I must also remember that this will cause play like that. If it inside it'll rattle like a headset on a push bike. It's just the same, except bigger and more dangerous if you come off. So I've tapped that round and I've got that done a little bit, and I'm going to tighten this back up, not overly tight but just enough to see if I can rattle them forks, because if those forks, because I'll show you, if they rattle like this, then I've undone this too much. So that's what I need to check now. I've checked that fork rattle and there isn't any. When I'm holding both sides here, I cannot cause them to rattle this way. Also what I've done is I've jacked the bike up so the front wheel's off the ground, because I don't have a jack to get it on a side so that it falls that way. But what I can tell you is that is just one finger with hardly any pressure. That now moves, and I can't feel the notching that was going on inside here. So I think that's correct now. I'm going to tighten up and put the bars back on. So as I'm putting the bars on, I'm not tightening them up, but these top ones are the ones that are meant to clamp up against here, and then this one just tightens down. It might not actually touch, but as long as it's tightened down, and this one touches and clamped up, of course. What angle to set them at? Well, a lot of people might think it's comfort, but there's strength in shape. We'll follow the line of the forks. Oh, look at that, it's beautiful now. Now, following the line of the forks, we need to follow the line of the handlebar curve, because that's where the strength lies. You can see that's out of angle. If I put that there, look, you can see that this angle here should more or less go in line with your forks. So that's how I'm going to set it up. With this stuff, it's sometimes a case of if you don't know, you don't know. I mean, how are you supposed to know this stuff if you don't, nobody tells you? But now I've done that, these bars move a lot freely. I've got no play in them back and forth, and they're just, well, you can tell there was something wrong with them before now that I know. Headlight, I'm still waiting to be delivered. I'm going to work on the other side caliper first. Get this drained off again. I've got loads of brake fluid, so it doesn't matter. I'll just get it drained off again and take that caliper off and see what's going on. I'm going for the easy option with these front calipers to start with, and I'll show you. I've got this one off, and inside there are my pads. So what I've done is I've got a spanner, popped it in like this, and basically tried to push the pistons back because the pistons were slightly out. Now I've got them back in, and that's opened that gap wide enough, and while that one was off, I've tried to spin this front wheel. It's still not spinning freely, so the other side is definitely catching. So I'm going to pop this one back on and do the same at the other side and see if that resolves anything when I start braking. If not, then they're both coming off, they're both getting stripped down and they're both getting cleaned. I've done the same thing to both sides. I've splayed them open without damaging the pads, I'll add, because I've been careful not to do that. So this is how the front wheel should go. That's what it's meant to look like. Now I need to test if those front brakes are seized. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you. Look, spin. Stop. Oh, why have I got no pressure? Look at that. I've got no. Oh, I know why, because I have to squeeze them up till they start working, don't I? There we go, look. So that should spin. Nope. No, don't spin, and braking on lock. It's hard to do it on my own. That has got resistance, so they're sticking to those brakes. I'm not messing about. I'm going to strip them down one at a time. I'm going to clean them up. I'm going to get new piston seals for it, and one at a time I'll take them apart and see what the pistons are like inside. I might as well just start at this side as soon as I'm here. I've got both them calipers off now. They were easy enough to get off, but there are one or two bolts on them that I undid while they were fastened to the bike. I'm trying to get the light in, but I've labelled them up. Near side and offside calipers. Just going to put one aside for now, and I'm going to strip down one of them and start cleaning it and see what's going on. I need to watch a YouTube video on how to get these things off. Those, I think you plop them out with pliers, like, but I don't want to break anything or bend anything. I don't want to buy anything I don't have to buy. But I genuinely think the pistons on these are just grimy, not rotten like they were on the other one, the rear caliper. So I'll strip this down and I'll show you what we've got. I've done it. I've taken the calipers off and I've broken them down as far as I'm prepared to take them for this build. So that's where the calipers were. I've put bags over there because I don't want brake fluid leaking all over my garage floor and everywhere. It's bad enough that I put cardboard down to absorb some of it. But I have labelled them up offside and near side calipers. I've cleaned them up. Now in there is debris in there, and I don't know if you can pick that up on camera, but there's bits of seal in there. I can show you on the other one better. But these are the pistons They feel alright, they just need a bit of a clean up really. I've got some Autosol to polish them, so that should bring them back to life. Same with this one, they're not too bad. Other ones were knackered on rear, so I do know that these ones will clean up. And again, you can see here, I saved this. That's a bit of piston seal. They're just rotten, so I'm going to order some new seals and get those delivered as soon as possible. Polish up cylinders. I've looked at the exploded diagram and all the parts seem to be there. So I'm organised, I know what I'm doing. I've done the headstock, I've slackened that off, so that's fine, there's no play in it. I've also redone my gear lever, which was just to undo this and just to adjust its angle. And I'm waiting for that headlight, so we're sort of getting there. Now I'm hoping I can ring the place that did the MOT and say I've done all the bits, can I bring it back? But I just need to get everything ordered and we'll pick this up in a few days. So it's now a few days later. I've got the parts, or should I say I've got the rubbers to fix the front calipers. One of them I've got here, the offside caliper. I labelled them up as offside and near side, so I know which is which and what bits go where. And when I ordered the rubbers, I originally ordered, I thought they were seals, but they came with a lot of other rubbers on it. So I've got one caliper stripped down with the rubbers out, and they are damaged and perished. Where the pistons fit is fairly clean. I've cleaned it out with a toothbrush. I've got the debris out. There wasn't a lot. I've cleaned the pistons up. Now, this one is a little bit scored up, but I'm not going to buy any pistons if I can get get away with it, because these are 25 quid a pair, the cheapest ones I've seen. So I'm going to try. I've polished them off with a bit of Autosol and a nice soft cloth. I just need to give them a final wipe down with a bit of kitchen roll and put them back together. But I'm going to turn the camera around and I'll show you what I've got going on. I'll put my phone on to silent so it doesn't disturb us. Now, like any good bloke, I brought it into the front room. These are the old rubbers. Now, they're not that bad, but when I was pulling them out, they are a bit stringy and falling apart. This one here you can see quite. And then we've also got these other rubbers that come off, like here and here, which is that one and that one. Now, I originally wasn't going to replace these, but they're so gunky, and the new ones did come with the new seals, and there's the other one there. So I might as well pop those on, seeing as I've got them. In there, we're cleaned up. We're not bad at all. Not too bad, not too shabby. So a little bit more cleaning up in there and they'll be ready to put back together. So hopefully next time you see this caliper, it'll be back together with the new rubber seals in it. And then I'll get on and do the other one. I'm going to do this one tonight and the other one tomorrow night. And then I'm going to be ready to put them back on the bike on Friday morning. And hopefully I've maybe got a headlight on order. And that's all I need to do. I need to ring the place where they do the MOT to see if they're open Saturday morning, to see if I can get her to recheck it. So I'll switch this off. I'll get these back together, and then hopefully when next time you see these calipers, they'll both be done. Just thought I'd give you a bit of an update because this went in real easy. A little bit of red rubber grease to help it in there. Red grease, I mean. This one was a bit more difficult, but not overly hard. And again, a bit of red grease on the inside of there, just to help lube it through. These O-rings in there sit perfectly and went in so much easier than on the rear caliper where I had to do a heavy cleaning. So now we'll just have to get these sunk in. They should go in fairly easy because they did on the last one. I'll get them final polish and then we'll get them in. Back in the garage now, I've come across a problem with these brakes. I've got one of them completely rebuilt. The other one I can't completely rebuild because there's a part missing, and I didn't know that because it wasn't on when I took them apart. So this one's complete, and the part that I've got missing for this one is a guide clip in there. This, I'll show you on the picture. It's that there. So I can get one of the brakes on the bike. Now that part I can't buy separately from Suzuki. You have to buy that whole rail thing and it's like 120 quid. I've seen a second hand one for 40 quid, but I've been offered a caliper for 20 quid, so I'm going to go look at that caliper, see if it's got that bit on. Honda use the exact same clip, which you can buy separately, and it's 8 quid. But I can't get one in the UK and it's 15 quid postage, so I'm going to go look at this caliper today. If that's got one, I'll just buy that. If it hasn't, I'll go to a Honda dealer and I will order that part because I've got the part number. That determines whether I can get this bike done or not, and I'm still waiting for the front headlight to be delivered. I've got a Mark II headlight coming. So I'll get that caliper, this one, back on this side, and then at least it's on the bike and ready to be bled for when I get this part for this, and I can get that one and get the brakes sorted. I have got that caliper on and I'll show you. So this side's on. I've actually got some new bleed nipples now. That one's not too bad, but the other one is rounded off. So I've got these ordered and they've been delivered. I've now picked up a second-hand caliper. It's a bit grotty like, but important thing is it's got the clip on it that I need, so hopefully I can take that apart easy enough to get the clip out and put in my cleaned up one. Here, see the difference. Once I've done that, I'll get it on the bike. That's done. I've got that part swapped over. It was relatively easy, and I've got the bleed nipples on now. Both sides are done. As you can see, we've got the new bleed nipple on there. This is the first side I'm going to bleed. I need to take the top off reservoir and top it up. I've got some .4, got loads of it in fact. And this is the other caliper that's on the bike now. So once it starts bleeding, it should take that out, because it's just the side to side wobble through the space where the pads are, hopefully. That clip wasn't the easiest thing in the world to get in. It's an order to it, so I had to figure the order out on both sides. It's the same on both. The other side took longer, and this was the second time I've only done it, so I just had to refresh my memory on it a little bit. That should be the brakes done. Once I've bled them, hopefully this wheel will spin freely. Still waiting for a headlamp. But what I have done is noticed that this doesn't tighten up. This rivet nut here is not working properly, so I'm going to have to drill that out and redo it. And I think it's the same with that one as well. I can't remember. I think that one's okay. This one needs doing. I've actually bought for a tenner a kit to do that with. But let's get these brakes bled and see if I've fixed the issue about that wheel not spinning freely. Brakes are on, brakes are bled, all the air's come out. Now if you remember in the last episode we failed at the MOT because one of the reasons was the front wheel wasn't spinning freely because the brakes were binding. I've not tested it or anything, so this is where I'm at now. What have I done? Well, I've taken the calipers off, I've taken the pistons out and I've cleaned them. I've put new seals in, I've got new rubbers all round, I've cleaned them up, I've got new bleed nipples. The hell cables are actually new from back in September when I changed them. I've jacked the bike up. This side, cleaned the pistons, new seals, new rubbers everywhere on the calipers, fresh grease everywhere. Controversially, for some people, well, I've used copper grease. I know some people say, I don't use it, whatever. A lot of people recommend it, so I just go with it. Grease is grease and it's better than fuck all. So hold your horses. Again, hell cable. We've no longer got the splitter here, and we've got a double banjo at the top there. Fresh fluid, all sealed up. Bike's jacked up. Does the wheel spin freely? Well, that wasn't a very good spin, but look at that, it does, it spins freely. It wasn't doing this last time, it's quite a heavy wheel. So, brakes on, brakes off. Spins freely, look at that. Brake on. Oh, it's fucking brilliant, look. Spin, brake. Spin, brake, and we've got a positive braking action as well when we do that. I'm almost MOT ready again. I don't know if I'm going to get it done for Thursday this week, because that's when the deadline is for me 2 weeks, 14 days. I just need this headlight to turn up and then I can give this place a ring and get them to check the bike over. What did we fail on? We failed on this, didn't we? That is not notching. I can feel it. I can feel it's not notching. She seems to think it was too stiff, but I've had lots of comments saying it's because the bearings are knackered. But it only notched at the centre. But now that, and there's absolutely no playing those back and forth, and I've done it with both hands, so it was just too tight, I think, and that's what she was convinced it was. So what did we fail on? This being too tight, this binding, and the main beam not being able to align with the low beam, because the low beam was down here while the main beam was being in the right direction, or if the low beam was up, then main beam would be off into the sky, so I've got to destroy that. I'm not going to do out with it. And I want to replace this bolt here, but I'm not going to do that for the MOT. We'll do that afterwards. So now we'll pick this up when I've got a new headlight. Whilst I've been editing that video, I've noticed how long it's been going on for, and I'm sure you've got better things to do. So I'm going to end this episode here, and we're going to pick it up at this point in the next episode. So far we've got things sorted. Next episode we will be looking at those rivet bolts. We'll be looking at them. We'll also be looking at the front headlight, and stick around for the end of the next episode because you're not going to want to miss it. I'll see you then. Buy us a coffee in the link down below. Thank you to everybody that's bought me a coffee so far. Everything has gone on the bike, I can guarantee you that. MOT next, so
Please take care, hit subscribe, see you in the next one.